Uh, Thank you very much, Liz. And first of all, I would like to say thank you and congratulations to Mr. Dr. Kamran Musa for sharing wonderful learning uh, in his short presentation for um, for what he's doing in Pakistan. So that's wonderful. A warm greetings to each and every one of you from Dubai. While I work for an Indian company, I operate out of Dubai. So I'm honored to be elected as one of the new IAQ academicians this year. This recognition is one of the high points of 30 years of experience in the field of quality and excellence. And I think I have to say a big thanks to Dr. Janak Mehta, to Mr. Janak Mehta, Mr. N. Ramanathan, and Lars Soquist, who kindly nominated me for this and encouraged me to go through the process. And that was a wonderful learning process, I must say. So I look forward to, in this role, I look forward to advancing the agenda of IAQ in whatever capacity IAQ would like me to do. And here I'm pleased to introduce myself to this team, Collegium. Just wish it was possible to do this introduction in person, but I guess technology is the second best option. So something about me, I was born in a place called Patna, which is an ancient city, then known as Patliputra, in the eastern part of India. It is historically an important city as it served the capital of two prominent kingdoms for over 8 centuries, from 300 BC, now it is not called BC, to around 500 AD. About my family, my better half Smriti is a top picture. My better half Smriti is an artist and likes to express herself best on the canvas or when advising the family to remain grounded and real. Our daughter Stuti, who is third from the left, and her husband Shalok are based out of Dubai. Stuti is a proficient singer and teaches management at the Amity Business School in Dubai. And Shalok, a sports enthusiast, works for SAP. And it's great to have family based out of the same city. On the bottom, a brief tribute to my parents. My father, Dr. B.K. Sinha, was a professor of history in Patna. And my mother, who just passed away last week, was the glue that bound together a large family of my siblings and my colleagues. But unfortunately, they are not there today, but I feel the generosity of their blessings with me every day. On the education side, on my experience side, I completed mechanical engineering from Patna University in 1982. And then immediately from the campus itself, I joined Tata Group in the steel company at Jamshedpur on the eastern part of India. Through my tenure with Tata Group, I have undertaken courses in quality, advanced management, leadership in globally renowned institutes like Japanese Union for Scientists and Engineers, NCR France, and IMD in Switzerland. 3 hobbies: fishing, cooking, and photography. They help me to unwind, and I do find time to learn and practice more of these hobbies whenever I have free time. The painting on the right is the creative expression of my wife on the canvas, and she likes to do many genres of painting, and they are displayed in various exhibitions here. I'm a lifer in Tata, having completed close to 3.5 decades within the group, and obviously owe a great deal to the opportunities and lessons I have learned in Tata's. The Tata Group, as many of you may know, is India's largest business group with 150 years of legacy, and obviously has been at the forefront of globalization and transformation. It has operations in more than 100 countries through more than 722,000 employees world over. The group revenue stands at 113 billion, of which over 64% is generated outside India. The ethos of the group is well reflected in the mission statement, which is given at the bottom of this slide, which stresses the centricity of our communities. Tata is a diverse group comprising of 100 plus companies. It operates in 10 sectors. You can see almost everything that we do, Tata is present in that sector. And jokingly, sometimes it is said that Tata is a salt to software company. We have some of our companies are top players in the world in the IT services, in the steel making, in commercial vehicles, in branded tea, in watches, in soda ash, and in sodium bicarbonate. Some of our global brands include Tata Consulting Services, Jaguar and Land Rover, Tata Communications, Tetley Tea, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Titan Watches, Taj Hotels, and Voltas. Nothing summarizes the ethos of the companies better than the quote by the founder Jamshedji Tata, who said in late 19th century that in a free enterprise, the community is just another stakeholder in the business, is not just another stakeholder in the business, but in fact, it is the very purpose of its existence. Some of you may be surprised to know that 66% of promoter company, which is Tata Sons, where I work, company share are actually held by philanthropic trusts. So what comes as a dividend to the holding goes for improving quality of life of people in the communities where we operate. A bit about my experience in Tata Group. It's there on this slide. I started my career, as I mentioned, with Tata Steel in the project engineering division, where implicitly, obviously, we learned a lot of tools and techniques in quality. But my real education in quality started in 1990 when I was inducted as the founding member of Tata Quality Management or Tata Quality Implementation Group, and I'll talk more about it. And then I had a bit of business stint later in my career as head of trading and chartering, and then as head of HR for marketing and sales. And then again, I went into quality role and I was the general manager of quality and HR, internationally known entity called Tata International. And then I was appointed Chief Executive Officer of Tata Business Excellence Group, which is a nodal group responsible for promoting excellence, innovation, sustainability in all the Tata companies. And lastly, in my new role, I head the Tata Group for Middle East and North Africa. So that's how my journey is for last 3.5 decades, and I talk about different pieces of this journey as we go into this presentation. But there was a turning point in my career, and that turning point was in 1989 when I was selected as one of the 5 members of Rotary Group Study Exchange Program to visit Värmland in Sweden for cultural exchange. And as an adjunct to this, my company, my CEO also wanted me to see the best practices in some of the European companies. And probably that opportunity and that visit opened world of opportunity for me, and also embedded a sense of cultural sensitivity in me, which is still serving me well. And on a personal side, Sweden in the last over 3 decades has become my second home, as some of the families are so close that we keep going to each other's place again and again. I'll talk about a little bit about Tata Steel quality journey, where I learned the first lessons of quality. Tata Steel TQM journey started in 1989, and that was triggered by then CEO, Dr. J.J. Irani, who is a well-known quality thought leader in India and abroad. He attended a seminar. He made his PDCA list, 5 elements, and these 5 elements were that TQM, he learned that TQM begins at the top. And he took that message very seriously. And soon after he came back, he formed a 5-member total quality implementation group directly reporting to him. And I happened to be one of the founder member of this group. The group was tasked to promote TQM in Tata Steel, then a behemoth of 75,000 people. The second lesson, which he wrote in his own handwriting, that company-wide training is a must for understanding what, why, and how of TQM. And then a number of training programs started in Tata Group to cover all 75,000 people for top leaders, some learning missions, some external trainings. Train for Trainer program was initiated, and basic TQM training was given to each and every employee of Tata Steel. The third lesson that he wrote was culture of continuous improvement should cut across all functions and hierarchy. And we initiated the culture of continuous improvement by initiating quality circles for workmen, Juran project by project approach for all managers, and ISO 9000 was implemented in hundreds of departments of Tata Steel. The fourth lesson that he learned was we need to regularly review the progress on quality, and finally recognize people to encourage the right behavior. And on those fronts, a number of initiatives were taken to review the progress. A Baldrige-like Jane Tata Quality Award was instituted, and multiple competitions were initiated, and for recognition, various programs were initiated in the company. One of my primary role sorry, just a minute. Just give me a sec. It's yeah. Yeah. It's frozen now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So one of my primary role was to lead the initiative of involving workmen in quality programs through Quality Circle. And before taking up this task, I read 3 books, and those 3 books are still fresh in my mind. First one was What is Total Quality Control? The Japanese Way by Dr. Kaoru Ishikawa. Second was Guide to Quality Control by Dr. Kaoru Ishikawa. And third was Out of Crisis by Dr. W.E. Deming. And then I attended several training programs, and based on those training programs, we designed the blueprint of involving workmen into quality circles and taught them QC tools and various other methodologies. As a result, quality circles grew from 12 in numbers to 1,200 in numbers in 4 years' time. And quality circles became the main vehicle for involving workmen in the process of improvement. And that huge amount of workmen started contributing to the process of total quality. Let me talk about the Tata Group now. 1994 had also decided to embark on a quality journey, and it all started with in 1991 when India decided to open up its economy, and that era of liberalization presented the most fundamental and probably the existential challenge to Tata Group, because India was a protected economy, and after decades of economic protection, the group was suddenly faced with competition from developed market with better quality products and services and mature supply chain, causing significant disruption across industry. So coincidentally, when this burning platform was getting ready, we had Mr. Ratan Tata, who was appointed as the chairman of the group. And in my view now, 30 years of experience, I think a successful transformation requires a burning platform and a leader who can steer the organization through this turmoil. And fortunately, we had both in place, the liberalization as a burning platform and Mr. Ratan Tata as a transformational leader. So large scale a transformation like Grand Orchestra was initiated, a Tata Business Excellence model was adopted, and this was fashioned on Malcolm Baldrige, a model. A small team was created called Tata Business Excellence Group, which was an expert team to support this movement. Tata Code of Conduct, which was a undocumented value system in the group, got formed. A new program business promotion was started. I'll talk about this program. Sometime corporate governance was included in the excellence program. Innovation program, and in a way, the definition of corporate excellence was expanded every now and then by including newer and newer initiatives in a way that people don't see too many initiatives in the company, but they see one umbrella initiative under which everything is happening. This brand equity business promotion program was a very, very interesting program, because under this, Tata companies had to adopt Tata Business Excellence program and embark on business excellence journey for using Tata brand. All Tata companies had to sign a commitment letter to run their business excellently and ethically. If they don't, they are not given the Tata brand to use. They can't use Tata brand. And also, they were given certain milestones to achieve in certain time. And if you don't achieve those milestones, company ran a risk of losing Tata name. And I think this was a master stroke by the group, because this has ensured that companies year after year, for the last 25 years are continuously running on the treadmill, and they are never off the treadmill, continuously working on excellence program. I talked about Tata Business Excellence Group, and this Tata Business Excellence Group was a facilitating group at the group level, and it basically does four things. One, it maintains the standards and upgrades the standards, and the standard is Tata Business Excellence Model. So it continuously learns and upgrades standards for sustainability, standards for safety. Then it trains people, practitioners, leaders, assessors. About 3,000 managers become examiners, assessors. And this is going on for last over 1.5 decades. And today we have a pool of almost 20,000 trained examiners who can look at the business in a more holistic manner from end to end. And TBM training in the last 1 decade has become an essential part of the leadership development. If anyone has aspirations, the question is asked, are you an assessor? Are you a team leader? Have you done assessment? And if you have not done any of these, then you have not done something which is very dear to the organization, and therefore you must do in order to aspire for achieving something big in your life. I talked about Tata Business Excellence Model, which was fashioned on Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Program, and in early days we learned unabashedly from Baldrige program. TBM changed the very definition of quality in Tata Group. In two decades back, from a single stakeholder view of quality of product and services, today quality means managing expectations of multiple stakeholders by continuously improving organizational management systems, including governance, leadership, supply chain, customer management, and so on and so forth. This big Q quality focuses on developing a culture of continuous improvement, innovation in everything that we do. And probably the highest level of quality is the value of highest level of quality is embedded in our Tata Group byline, leadership with trust, which means managing quality by doing right things which evoke trust amongst all stakeholders. So TBM in the last 25 years has changed the language and vocabulary adopted by Tata companies. soon after its adoption, people started talking about benchmarking, strategy planning, customer centricity, lag measure, lead measure, and so on and so forth. So this was a very interesting program to run as a CEO of Tata Business Excellence Model and continuously change in order to meet the expectations and maturity of Tata companies. And therefore, we had to make the TBM a living model. If it is not a living model, companies will immediately lose interest in TBM. And as you can see, in 2004, we included globalization because Tata started globalization in a big way. In 2009, we included climate change, safety, and innovation. In 2011, we included other initiatives. Then in 2014, we changed the award threshold from 600 to 650 because we realized that companies who have not done very extraordinary things are also aspiring for award. So we needed to change the goalpost. So we did that. And by 2015, TBM is now used as a strategic deployment framework for all companies, for all businesses of Tata Group. It is important that companies which adopt any initiative, they stay on course. And here you can see the number of Tata companies that are assessed every year from 1995 to 2019. And this is an indicator on how companies have gone through this process year after year, creating a virtuous cycle of assessment and improvement. In the last 25 years, we have done 800 plus TBM assessments, have carried out in the last 25 years, 6,000 assessors have participated in this mammoth exercise, and the journey, the framework, the assessment, the process of our learning, the process of institutionalizing excellence continues to be the same. These are the Baldrige maturity steps for excellence. I will not spend much time on this, but this chart is interesting, and you can see that how there has been progress over a period of time. In 1994, 98% of our 100 companies were below 500 score on Baldrige scale. Today, it has reduced to 18%. In 1994-99 timeframe, only 2% company were industry leaders. That is 600 plus on Baldrige scale. Today, we have 40% of our company which are industry leaders, which are 600 plus. And the journey goes on, we can gauge the impact of this program in other ways also. This is the average score of the group, 2.5 times in 25 years. Despite absorbing new companies on the way, Tatas have absorbed almost double its capacity, or more than double its capacity in the last 20 years. I'll quickly talk about climate change. I was privileged to be given opportunity to drive climate change as a head of CEO of TBEXD. Under this program, we measured carbon and water footprint of Tata Group for the first time and created green strategy for the group. We partnered with the best minds. We looked at the best companies in the world like Siemens, IKEA, Telenor, and so on and so forth. And based on this, company made some very long-term strategy. Tata Motors decided to go in for electrical vehicle. Tata Power decided to stop making coal-powered power stations. And today, their renewable portfolio is almost 25% of 11 gigawatt that they generate. And similarly, Tata Chemicals developed the first industrial scale carbon capture and utilization plant in UK. Talk a little bit about innovation. We also realize that companies which are market leaders and businesses that are globally successful have one thing in common. They think, they aspire, they question, they experiment, they dream, they dare, and most importantly, they innovate. And this stimulated us to look at innovation as a strategic approach to grow internationally. We looked at mega trends. We visited the most innovative companies in US and Japan and picked the best of the minds on innovation and shaped our journey on innovation. And as a result, these are journey which have taken in the last 10 years. So one slide doesn't do justice to this journey. But in the last few years, we have doubled our patents to 7,000. The program is now delivering the benefit of about $1.8 billion per year in terms of new product or in terms of cost saving. And I had the privilege to address Future of Energy platform in Harvard Business School. And in 2009, Business Week recognized me as one of the 25 masters of innovation in the world. And one of the signature program of this innovation, which I would like to talk about, is Dare to Try. Every organization knows that risk-taking is critical to fostering innovation, yet people don't know how to promote risk in a credible and practical manner. How can creative or intelligent risk be encouraged and normal risk be discouraged? So we in Tata Group started an award called Dare to Try in our innovation recognition. Individuals and teams are recognized for failed innovation arising out of bold experimentation. Teams, individuals are publicly recognized and encouraged to learn from the failure. And this has helped the group to move from a blame-worthy culture to a learn-worthy culture. And so on and so forth. And the most important thing is these failures are today gold mines for new innovations because they used to be brushed under the carpet earlier. So after this role as CEO of TBXG, now I head the, as I mentioned, head the Middle East for Middle East and North Africa for all the Tata companies, and my role is expanding the footprint of Tata Group in this region. I also support the quality programs of various countries in this region, and there are two things which I'm extremely proud of, which we have done in Middle East. One is we have set up an all-women BPO center in Saudi Arabia, where almost 1,000 local women are Minister and Melania Trump has visited this center. I'm also proud of the fact that we have created a very important joint venture between Voltas, our company, and Archelic in India for manufacturing and sale of consumer durable products in the last couple of years. And finally, as part of MENA region, I'm also supporting Business Excellence Program as a speaker in various forums which are there on the right side. I'll not take much time on this. And in 2015, the Malcolm Baldrige Foundation appointed me as the first non-American member on its board. And I'm serving Malcolm Baldrige Foundation for last 6 years. And as a group, Tata Group has taught me one thing, that and has encouraged me to steal shamelessly and share unhesitatingly all the best practices that we know of, and we are doing that. And in Middle East and in other places, we are happy to learn and share the story and the experience that we have in Tata Group. In the journey, there are some people who always inspire you, and I have been a great admirer of Dr. James Juran, and a lot of my early studies, practices in this field was based on his philosophies. I was privileged enough to attend his last public outing, the last Hurrah, and it's a memory to cherish. Many of you may not recognize me. It's me 20 years back. Another leading thinker, and I am so honored that he is here today in this meeting, Dr. Kano. Dr. Kano's model has been a constant reference for evolving the quality standards in Tata Group. And Dr. Kano has worked very, very closely with our steel company, and the steel company has gone from one height to another. Other inspiration is my own CEO, Dr. J.J. Irani, who actually inducted me into quality. He introduced me to the world of high quality, and I fell in love with this subject because of his guidance. He was also my chairman when I was the CEO of TBEXG. So we have a 20-year-long association. Mr. Ratan Tata, I will humbly skip introducing him, was the person who inspired and entrusted me with the ecosystem of the Tata Group. He was my guide, he was my mentor, and constantly enhanced the scope of my learning by adding complex and interesting areas like innovation, climate change, safety, corporate governance, affirmative action into the umbrella of TBEM. These are some of the, changes that have taken place in Tata Group. Many companies have acquired global leadership. Many companies have acquired domestic leadership. And in the past 25 years, the group has completely changed its DNA. And that you can see in the next slide. 1994, when we started the journey, group was a $4 billion group. Today, we are over 110 billion, 25 times in 25 years. Mostly India presence. Now it is global, 65% revenue from outside. Market cap was 10 billion. Today it is 170 billion, so on and so forth. And it is one of the most admired brand globally. Now, has it all happened because of business excellence? No. But business excellence has also played a very important role in building capability in the organization. And before I end my presentation, I would like to play a 1-minute video clip of George Benson. Keen interest in Tata's business excellence journey.
And when I really dug into the Tata situation and what Tata's doing, I said, oh my gosh, they've actually started to do some of these things. We're not doing them here in the United States. They're doing them. That was exciting. So that motivated me even more. What's been achieved has been incredible. You can take one company and apply the Baldrige criteria over a number of years, but to keep it going beyond 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years is really a challenge. But now you talk about taking upwards of 100 companies, including subsidiaries and so forth, with Tata, and keep that going for 25 years. That's remarkable. This is world class. Tata is a role model that we all should be looking to.
Thank you, and I'll be happy to take any questions. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Sunil, thank you very much, and our sympathies regarding your mother. Lars, you had a question?
Yes. First of all, Sunil, I'm very, very glad to have you on board IAQ, and I look forward to get you more involved in many of our activities. And second, I want to ask you a question. I think it's a question that many of us have. We can see over time that the interest for quality is going up and down, and it's very difficult to keep it stable on a high level. And exactly as the video in the end here talked about your success in keeping up there for 25 years for 100 companies. What is your experience? How could we get a higher constant level of the interest of quality over time in not just Tata Group, all over the world? What should we do? What is your comments on that?
Lars, thank you very much for asking this question. And many of us in different parts of the world have struggled with this problem. And if you look at the history of quality movement in different parts of the world, in different companies, you will notice that, it rises with a particular leader leading this program. And as soon as the leader moves out of the scene, many a times quality bleeds out of the organization because the new leader has new thoughts, new programs. He wants to make a new stamp, his stamp on the organization. So these are some of the real challenges. I think there are two things that I guess we need to look at. One is that, like what Tatas have done, that if you have to use Tata name, you got to be part of this program. You got to participate in assessment of improvement year after year. And if you are not improving, then the group can ask, why should Tata name be given to you? So there has to be some higher purpose for quality. And in our case, the higher purpose was to remain associated with Tata name. So that is a very important thing. Second thing, I also realized that the quality framework programs which started in late 80s and early 90s, many countries, many companies have not made enough changes. And therefore, sometimes the participants have more knowledge about quality than the providers of quality. And as a result, they lose interest. And we are facing this problem in Ballridge, where we have found that the large companies, manufacturing companies who were so enthusiastic about business excellence, performance excellence in early 90s and late 90s have all disappeared. And who are there now? The smaller companies are there, healthcare companies are there, because it is new to them. And therefore they are. Tomorrow, after they learn this, I guess they will also follow. So there are two things. One is there should be higher purpose for which they should engage with quality. And second is there has to be continuous improvement changes in the manner, in the framework, in the assessment, in the way people learn quality, the things that they learn. So that continuously, that has to change. Probably that will help in creating greater stickiness of quality in the system. One of the things that, Lars, I admire a lot about Sweden, when I went there, I found that the king has, for the last 15 years, every year he has handed over the award himself. That is a huge motivation, and I'm sure he would like to.
Yes, thanks a lot, Sunil.
Next, Janak Mehta had a question or a comment.
No, just welcome to Sunil, and I've been fortunate to be involved with Tata Group from the very beginning. Dr. Irani, which he mentioned, he was the first team which I took to Japan. He was the leader of the team and started this initiative. And incidentally, Mr. Ratan Tata is also a recipient of our IAQ award for corporate governance. That's Burton Medal for Corporate Governance. So we have an association, and I think proud of that. Welcome, Sunil.
Thank you very much, Janak, and we are very thankful to you for your guidance for last over 3 decades. And I have to share here that I attended my first training program on TQM, which was organized by Janak. Then he was in CII, or he had just left CII, and JUSC in Delhi in 1992, and I was fortunate to know him since then. Thank you, Janak.
Welcome.
So Sunil, may I join the welcome band? Welcome to IAQ. I know that you were personally involved in inserting and integrating sustainability into your Tata Business Excellence model. Though you were following the Malcolm Baldrige model, you inserted it and made it integral to the Tata system, right? So in that context, I want to ask you, what do you think IAQ should be doing?
So, Janak, yes, we did integrate, and what we have done is we have learned as Tata Group a way of implementing a new program, and that is a way of through creating a virtuous cycle of assessment and improvement. So whatever comes to us, we convert it into assessment and improvement virtuous cycle, and we learn very fast, because that's the way we know how to learn. So we integrated climate change sustainability also in the TBM model, and which has worked very well to institutionalize some of the things. Although we did not tinker Malcolm Baldrige framework too much, but we used that platform, we used the learning methodology, we used that assessment methodology to encourage companies to adopt and adapt the green strategies. Ram, it would be inappropriate for me at this stage where I'm making my introductory presentation to advise IAQ. I know IAQ is making huge contribution in the area of sustainability. All I can say is I can offer my humble, participation in what IAQ is doing in the area of sustainability, and together we can see what we can do.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you.
Please, you need to unmute.
Let's put on the...
Sorry, my phone kept ringing. Sean Rupra, you had a question?
Yes, Sunil, it's great to see you, and wonderful to see all your achievements. I had a privilege to be in Jamshedpur as a guest of honor during the Dr. Irani's awards. So I learned a lot, the runs on the boards you had in Jamshedpur among the schools and other areas. And under your new leadership in May now, what were your key challenges? And maybe you want to talk about one of those and how did you sort of face that and addressed it?
So challenges were many, but I think one of the biggest challenge that we faced was by 2004, we had started expanding outside of India. And we had Tata Steel Chorus in our portfolio. We had Jaguar Land Rover in our portfolio. We had Tetley in our portfolio. We had many telecom companies in our portfolio. And I think the biggest challenge was to expand this program to the newer geographies and understand the cultural nuances of how you can do it in Tata Daewoo in South Korea and how you can do it in Jaguar Land Rover. The methodology will be very, very different. And that was, I think, the biggest learning. We had to reinvent ourselves. We had to reinvent the whole program in a manner that everyone finds the program very, very inclusive. And that is one of the learning which I bring on the table when I sit on the Baldridge board. How do you see, how do you successfully implement this program in different cultures and different geography? The second thing, learning was, it is very difficult to maintain the interests of the companies, and especially high-performing companies, to be on the treadmill. And it is very well known that the moment you are off the treadmill, excellence will bleed out of the organization, because it is not a permanent thing which will, once you injected, it will remain in the organization forever. So keeping them motivated, bringing new initiative, bringing new challenges to them so that they keep interested. Even if they have scored 700, they are looking for something more. That's another very big challenge that we faced. And as I was mentioning, that we integrated many initiatives into this, a little bit of innovation, little bit of climate change, little bit of corporate governance. Now, how do you maintain a balance between the width and the depth when you do such kind of assessment? And that was also, these are also the challenges that we have
Thank
faced.
you, Sunil. Welcome on board. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, and I look forward to working.
Paulo Sampaio, you had a question or a thought?
Yeah, just some questions. First, welcome on board, Sunil, to the Academy. It was a great presentation. Congratulations on that. Just some questions, and I would like to hear your thoughts about that. Most of my current research projects, applied research projects, are with companies in the field of digital transformation and the role of quality in that changing process. One of my questions for you is, what is the Tata Group doing concerning the digital transformation process, and how the Tata Group is adapting the quality approaches and the quality models to this new reality? And additionally, I'd like to listen to your thoughts about what do you think that we need to do in the quality field concerning, for instance, the organizational excellence models. Do we need to readapt them to this new reality of the digital context, or do they continuously to answer to the current industry requirements? It will be great to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, embracing digital transformation is not an option. It is something, if you don't do, you will fall behind. So that is not an option. So there is no point in debating these things. It has to be done. That's the point. And that's the point which Tatas have taken. And Tata Group has taken the digital transformation very, very seriously. And you know, our learning is, if you think that some subject, something is important, then first of all, create an expert team who is spending 100% time to drive the transformation. Instead of 100 people spending 5% time, it's better 5 people spend 100% time and drive the transformation. So at the highest level in the group, we have created a digital transformation officer, and all the Tata companies have been advised to have a digital strategy and have a digital transformation officer and have digital strategy. So different companies like hotel industry is looking at digital differently, and watches are looking at digital transformation differently. But all of them are looking at how to leverage digital transformation to expand their market or to service their customers better or to improve their performance in whatever way they can. Even the quality group has adopted the digital methodology in their assessment process, in their digital. We are also now evaluating the digital readiness of the companies and trying to bring out what is good, bad, ugly in that area, so that the agenda is in front of the leadership team and they know what can be done. We have best practices where we are sharing the best digital practices in the group so that the process of learning is accelerated. In the nutshell, it is not only important, it is imperative that we adopt. We are working on that. And I think in the next 3-4 years, the framework should change, the methodology of assessment should change, the company's strategy has to change, and digital will be the way of life. And especially after this COVID, I think this whole process is going to become very, very rapid. The change is going to be very, very rapid.
Cameron, you had something to a question or a comment?
Yeah. Thank you, Sunil, for a very wonderful presentation and an excellent work that you are doing at Tata. My question, some of them you just answered, but one of my question is, my worries is about the sustainability of strength of quality management in organizations. I see your award is creating a lot of mobilization and movements in upgrading the quality systems and quality processes. My question is regarding those organizations who have achieved the award for some time. Do you have any mechanism of measuring their strength or effectiveness after a few years of attaining? Because I've seen some of these organizations in general, after they achieve the award, after a few years, I see them also going back or going a little lethargic. So just my question is, how do you measure the efficacy or effectiveness of organizations who have already achieved the award after a couple of years?
So, Kamran, I'll share my personal view on that. And I think Mr. Tata understood this challenge very early in the game. And when we started our journey as JRD QV Award, and whenever a journey starts with award, the journey ends with award. And we have seen so many examples of that. I'm seeing mostly, there are other exceptions also where companies have won the award and they continue on the journey. But I'm saying generally, there are more cases where after winning the award, after crossing the line, people or companies, they lose the steam and they don't look forward to anything. So what we did in Tata Group is we don't call it award. We call it a business excellence, Tata Business Excellence Program, Tata Business Excellence Model. Award is one of the milestone. Award is nothing. Beyond award, you have to show your role model behavior. You have to demonstrate your excellence on safety. You have to demonstrate your excellence on sustainability. You have to demonstrate your excellence on innovation. And it's like a race without a finish line. So basically, we need to start a program which looks like a race without a finish line and not an award-centric program. Baldrige program is also facing the similar problem we debate every time in the board, that how do we encourage companies which have won Baldrige Award to continue to continue to get inspired by Baldrige. So that's Kamran, you have raised a very valid point. It's a very, very big challenge. And we need to find innovative ways to keep the companies engaged. And Tata Group has found its own way to keep the companies engaged for 25 years. In those 25 years, 3 new chairmen have come to Tata Group, and all 3 have, with the same passion, has driven quality, because it is so deeply embedded now in the system that it's very difficult to unwind it. So challenging, I think there is no unique answer for this. Different companies have to find different ways, but there are some good practices that I thought I'll share through this presentation.
Good.
But we can discuss offline, Kamran, on this. It's a very interesting subject, and happy to catch up with you whenever you are in Dubai, and we can have a discussion on this.
Thanks a lot.
Raul,
We will do that.
Raul Moltieni, you had a question or a thought?
You know, I have to make
Yes.
a small remark, and today I was so moved to see the award which has been given in the name of Ricardo Delana. Ricardo was my batchmate in INSEAD, and in 2004. And Ricardo, I not only were in the same batch, but in the same buddy group. And we spent 8 weeks together in a buddy group, and we did so many things together. And suddenly, and his son is in touch with me, and his family is in touch with me. And suddenly, when I saw that, the whole thing, it flashed back my time spent. He was an outstanding quality leader, and I'm so happy that I'm on the same platform where an award is named after him.
Okay, good. Raul, you had a thought?
Yes, it's, thank you, Liz. I think it's more a question. Sunil, thank you very much for the presentation, but mainly for all the things you've done behind the presentation. I mean, it's astonishing and a really great job done to get to that presentation. So good presentation, but wonderful job behind that. I have a question. You mentioned this fear for failure. Can you elaborate some more about that? What you've done to tackle that?
So there are 3 kinds of failure in the organization. One failure is, which is a deliberate error. And this failure has to be stopped at any cost in the organization, and there has to be punitive action for failure such deliberate failure in the organization. There is second kind of failure which takes place because of the lack of knowledge or skill. And these are usually the quality failures, where people make mistakes because they don't know the quality tools, techniques, they don't know a lot of things. Every organization has some sort of tolerance for such failures, and they educate people, they train people, they skill people so that such failures do not take place. But there is a third kind of failure where people try and make some bold experimentation, big plans, big innovation. They invest a lot of money in that, and then it fails. Generally, organizations they don't like the word failure. Managers don't like the word failures. And therefore, in our organization also, and in many organizations, anything which fails are brushed under the carpet. And we didn't want that to happen. And we wanted people who do something extraordinary, who do something bold, who do something which is never thought of. If they fail, they need to be recognized, because we wanted people to become risk takers a little bit. Risk takers in that kind of failures. We wanted that. And therefore, we instituted this award, said, dare to try, dare to fail. You fail, we recognize you. You fail, chairman will shake hands with you. You won't believe, first year in whole of Tata Group, which was at that time 400,000 people, only 3 people came with a bold failure, because they thought their salaries will be cut, their jobs will be lost, their promotion will be stopped. And it was so difficult to convince people that no, we really mean it. And we really mean that, if you have done this, please come and please share it with us. And slowly people got comfort. They started sharing with us. You won't believe today, most of the failures, when you analyze, you find that they have failed because one of the reasons that we have analyzed is because their superiors were threatened. They were not comfortable that their own people come up with very innovative solution, and they overcast their career. Second reason was we found that the innovations are failing because probably they are a bit too early in the market. And the third reason why it was failing, because the company was not spending enough on the technology and on commercializing the whole concept. So these were the reasons, and today we are finding, when you analyze these failures, when you recognize these failures, many of these failure stories are converting into wonderful innovations. And this year it fails, after 2 years, the same project becomes a wonderful innovation, and it is giving huge benefit to the organization. So it's a little tricky thing, and you have to handle it with care so that we do not start recognizing people who are supposed to make donuts, and if they fail in making donuts, we are recognizing them. So we have to handle it in a very tricky manner, but I think this kind of initiative is very, very useful for giving comfort, confidence to people that they can do extraordinary things in the organization. I hope I have...
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.